I feel like it's getting to the end and we've got B and C left. Do you think...
Yeah, it's really weird.
Do you think there's nothing for B to do?
Yeah, I think they just unlock at the same time. Right, so it's EC D to DECE?
Yep.
I understood that correctly. We need to be on this side, right?
Yeah, I think so. You don't want to be stuck on one screen of each area. The dead people have been very... I think that's another one. Very quick. Can you close that guy?
It's selectable now, so... Yep.
Like, they've moved rapidly between these holes to do what they're doing. I guess there must be a lot of them.
Yeah, surely. Oh, I got B, I think?
That's the last hole. Now, let's go find Hetchel.
I don't think any songs used B.
No.
So, he doesn't have anything to do.
I feel sorry for B if it doesn't have anything.
It's going to be included in one song. Maybe.
When did we learn to fly?
I think there's just no gravity on this side, but at the same time, I'm not sure how we're propelling ourselves.
We just got
Maybe
powers.
we're a swan now.
We have some mastery over this area, I guess. Let's talk to that swan. Or...
Oh, should we talk again? I don't think we can.
Oh, is that...
Oh, there we go.
Her eyes. They're just like mine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay.
Just time for a non sequitur. Well, you were right. Just there.
Oh, I can't close this one. Alright.
Ah, they're sailing that anvil like a big cloudy boat.
Oh,
Mind yourself, Bobbin. Get your distaff ready. You must unmake the loom now, before chaos takes control.
What? How? I don't know what draft to use.
Birds and children have no business wielding such power.
Weavers are the only ones who do have the right to use this power.
Destiny has blessed you, young threadbare. For you alone will live on to pass your guild secrets to others more worthy of them. I invite you to serve my new empire as advisor.
Me? You? Advisor?
Of course, I will expect your full cooperation in this historic exchange of goodwill. After all, anything else may bring harm to our relationship.
Don't listen to her, Bobbin. Heed me now. Here are the threads that will unmake the loom.
Silence.
Hatchel, say something, please. I need that draft.
Enough! I lose patience in the presence of inferior beings. You
Charming.
will now instruct me in the use of this fascinating instrument.
Over my dead body.
Preference note.
So do we just get freedom to walk around now? Oh yeah, cool.
A beak moves, but there's nothing, not a sound.
I advise you not to approach me too closely, Weaver boy.
Right, Weaver boy. Was that?
It's a new spell. Bag for.
Okay.
I advise you not to approach me too closely, Weaver boy.
Maybe on Hetchel.
Yeah, I want to do anything but cast on the loom. No. Okay, this is going to be a loom
That
thing
must
then.
not be the right draft.
I advise
Yeah, I'm not trying to
you
approach.
me too closely, Weaver boy.
Well, that didn't work.
Can you click
Do we think it'll be the other way round?
and try it? Try it, yeah. I don't know what it is, though.
Well, that didn't work.
What about mending on?
I'm going to try this in reverse again, just on
Okay.
Hetchel.
Oh, okay.
Oh, thank goodness.
What?
Now, Bobbin, quickly. The threads you need are...
Ducks are meant to be eaten, not heard. Now, I believe we were discussing the secrets of the loom.
Oh, I see. She's using spells and we're hearing them in the loom and then turning them backwards.
Yeah, I guess so. That is what that sounded like, so...
Yeah. So FBFB. Special spell to turn Hetchel from a cooked chicken to, cooked duck to.
Oh, for God's sake. Yeah, a cooked duck into a duck.
Close your eyes now, Bobbin. But keep your ears open. Here descends the third shadow.
That bird has annoyed me once too often. Now, my esteemed advisor, where were we before we were so...
Oh, look at that feather.
Hmm.
Hetchel's black feather. She left one behind.
And so she did. I think I shall keep it as a souvenir of our little encounter.
I want that feather. Give it to me.
My, impudent, aren't we?
Give us that feather.
What, the feather? What did you just cast? Irreversible. But that destroyed, right? So we can destroy the loom doing that?
Yeah, maybe.
Bobbin, you did it! The loom is unmade!
You ignorant fools! Do you comprehend what you have done? None of us can pass across this rift your weaver mischief has so blindly created. Your pious meddling has brought the end of my dream. You will hear for all eternity the cries of those you have abandoned, Bobbin Threadbare. You will always know that you have left them under my rule.
We abandon no one. When our side of the pattern is mended, we will return and put an end to your evil.
Come, Loom Child. It is time for us to begin our destinies anew.
So are we going to turn into a swan now?
I've got C. Yeah, I guess so.
Leaving so soon, Weaver? I was looking forward to spending more time with you.
What on earth is going on?
Oh, can select self now.
Okay, so do we turn into swans? Don't do
Yes,
it. We don't do anything to hurt. It feels kind of like you want to finish this person off, but I guess there's nothing else to be done.
Opportunity. I can't. There's nothing else to interact with.
Okay then, so I guess C, F, G, C.
Swan transformation, the ultimate technique.
Swan transformer!
Threadbare, and know that we will most assuredly meet again.
I am ready, Mother. Let's go.
Swan formation. So, that's the scythe in the sky now. That's become a moon.
Yeah.
The pattern has been unmade and the world is kind of divided in two. One full of chaos and the other one full of swans.
Swans and chaos, the two opposites.
Yeah. Do you want to be swan or chaos?
Is there another ending, or is that...
Well, I don't know. I don't think so.
Is that the ending you remember?
I don't really remember this ending. It felt very sudden. I remember it being quite a short game. I couldn't really remember what happened story-wise. Orson Scott Card.
No, fair.
Well, turn out the chaos were nice after all. I wasn't really sure what to expect on the story front. It feels like it's got a load of big ideas and interesting things, but that sort of just fell away very quickly at the end in terms of the actual plot of what was going on. It almost feels like we're a bit of a dick.
At the end, it was very sudden swap over, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like, we had...
Just enjoying piano. Yeah, so, sorry, what were you saying?
We kind of had, like, a pretty sort of standard, quite, I guess, the pace was kind of the same throughout most of it until we kind of exited that cave, went out into the blacksmith thing. We were in the blacksmith thing for 2 screens, and then was suddenly at the end guy, who then got killed.
Yeah.
It was really sudden. Like, it suddenly picked up, at the end really quickly. Like you said, there were like 2 notes left, and we were sitting there going, well...
Yeah, we only got to use that
those.
big C for that one spell at the end to turn us into a swan. The B was just used to reverse the stuff that was happening to poor Hedgehog that got ripped to shreds.
Which we only, we did that, and then...
I don't know if there was plans for maybe a sequel or to further develop this, or maybe there's some other like media which goes into more detail about Loom, and yeah, but it was over very quick, right? It just, I mean, to be quite honest, the whole game moved at quite a pace. It was only because we kind of got stuck right near at that point.
True.
Because we missed the reflect spell. Otherwise, we would have probably. We'd been rattling along, I reckon, and would have completed it maybe 15, 20 minutes sooner. I don't know, we spent a little bit of time a bit unsure of what to do, and then it was just like, okay, now just the same as before, really. I like it. I still think it's a very good game, and really interesting in terms of the background narrative, the control, and the way that it sets itself out as different from other graphic adventures, both of the time, which the immediate comparator is The Secret of Monkey Island, which was out the same year as this. What Sierra was doing, but also other adventures. Like no one's gone and. I mean, I'm not aware of any other game that has gone, well, we're going to do the Loom thing. Now, I mean, there have been other games which have sort of eschewed item and inventory puzzles, because this was very much a application puzzle and keeping things fairly streamlined by what you have in front of you is what you can manipulate, and then you just learn the possible options to do the manipulation rather than, I guess, use every item against every possible hotspot. But yeah, that kind of end was just, that was a bit jarring, right, I think. And also, I'm still not 100% sure I fully understand exactly what was going on there. Like, the beginning has him being ostracized, he comes of age, the Guild of Weavers doesn't want anything to do with him and are worried about him. They seem like they're trying to destroy him, right, or do something with him, though then they get turned into swans.
Well, they turn themselves into swans, I think, now that we know that that's like a good thing.
Yeah, but why? They were trying to inflict that on you, and they were trying to get rid of you at the same time. So were they trying to turn you into swans, or were they actually trying to do something else? Because they acted surprised with the events that followed, and being turned into swans.
Yeah, that's pretty weird.
Yeah, and then Hetchel said it backfired as well, and they just misinterpreted their understanding of what was going to happen. That's just prophecy. But at the same time, there's stuff with, like, everything else is kind of just going on already. Like, this Archbishop Mandible is going around getting the stuff together in order to create an army of the undead, utilising the other various guilds who seem to be completely willing to just give him whatever they want, which is a bit strange, but I think the shepherds sort of go, right, we understand that he might be powerful, but we'll just be on guard against it. But then what's the idea? Like, he needs our stuff. He takes our stuff and casts that spell. If we hadn't shown up, he wouldn't have the stuff. He'd have all the weapons and the sheep to feed his army and the scrying thing. I kind of don't get it. I mean, he obviously wants to have control at that moment. He thinks he's going to just get control of a massive undead army. But is that all just part of the prophecy? Right.
Yeah, it seems it's coherent to a point, and then there's just kind of like this underlying. I guess I understand the events in a way, but don't understand the premise.
Yeah, like, And what's Bobbin doing in all of this? He's just trying to find his weavers.
It does feel like this needed more, like there must have been a plan for more.
You think it was meant to be a longer game?
Yeah, well, I suspect that anyway, because the ending's so rushed. Like, you don't tend to have... Like, since the rest of it's so well paced... Like, I think it was better paced than the ending. Like, it was quite quick, but I still think the first 2/3, or first 3/4 was still slightly more...
Yeah.
Rounded out than that last bit.
Yeah, I agree. I guess maybe the concepts got so big that the time that you had with them didn't really afford you much understanding, and also probably affected how they worked. Though I'd say there's just maybe some gaps in actually understanding what was really going on there. Also, I guess if it ends here, which it does, that's half the world split apart. They're off they're going to come back, or he says they're going to come back and fix this problem. They've unmade the Loom for now to stop chaos getting control over it, which all of that sort of suggests build up for a sequel, right? Or build up for further stuff.
Yeah, it did kind of feel that way. It felt like it was going to lead up to... I mean, that ending was just so... it doesn't feel like we sort of solved any problems.
I don't feel that. I feel like...
We just left. We went, alright.
Yeah,
nice.
That's what
bye.
I mean when I said it feels like we're a bit of a dick, because we kind of caused the problem by either being part of this prophecy where we end up journeying and give up our stuff so that guy can cast his spell and rip open the entrance for chaos, who also, by the way, was like, you didn't summon me, I summoned you. So there's a whole what now? What's the chaos backstory? Was they going around doing stuff and just happened to...
It's an odd thing to come out and say who disturbs when you're saying that you summoned. That's an odd phrasing, isn't it?
Maybe chaos just always has to have the last word.
Yeah, I think maybe Chaos's character should I think you'll find actually I summoned you.
Yeah, actually, I think you'll find I did this. I woke me up, and
I disturbed me.
Yeah, Chaos is possibly a "why are you hitting yourself" type of guy or person.
Yeah, perhaps.
Yeah, it's just a complete arse.
Because those two lines are almost they definitely infer opposite things.
Yeah, so I don't know. It did feel very, very sudden, jarringly. And then we leg it, right? And then
we just leg it. Well, I mean, we didn't even mean to leg it. We leg it, and then we get pushed. Well, we climb on top of a balcony edging because we're getting chased by a dragon.
Oh yeah, dragon.
And then we just fall off.
And there was nothing else to his story. He just was there
to push us off the cliff.
Yeah, what was his deal?
How did he get out?
I guess in the chaos. I mean, I guess there's some stuff that's happening that is hard to convey because of the age of the...
Yeah, definitely.
There's all the stuff where you're supposed to assume that... we're just getting these still images of the anvil being taken over, people being knocked on the floor dead or whatever. So I think we're meant to, in those parts where we're zipping from place to place, have realised that what's going on in between these periods is just a massive amount of chaos and carnage, and lots of undead running around killing things. We also revived that boy and then just let him wander off, and he's now on that side, I assume.
Which means he's dead again.
I mean, he's not got long for it. Also, if that anvil then came to Loom, did he even get on it? Did it just sail off? It was in the sky, so I don't know how he was possibly going to get anywhere. He's probably just a complete goner now. Yeah, so...
Did you remember the sort of gory nature of the last bit of the game?
Nope. No, that was a
at
real
all.
shock.
That came out of nowhere.
I wasn't expecting that level of violent graphics. He got torn to pieces. His head came off.
It was really like sudden. Like until that point, it felt like a kind of world of magic. They had kooky characters that were a little bit like.
Yeah,
we knew that guy was evil, the cleric guy, but he seemed cartoonishly
He was very
evil.
camp, wasn't he, with his evil?
Yeah.
He's a
like,
pantomime villain of evil, and with his British sneering.
Yeah, and everyone else was a little bit like... they were quite all pantomimed up and quite like,
Yeah, it feels like a very gentle adventure, and then
suddenly
showed a bit of teeth.
It was unexpected. It was very...
Because there's nothing to say that this game is meant to be like for children specifically, or that there isn't some dark side to
No,
this.
not at all. It just kind of leads you... It subverts your expectations by leading you down this path of...
Yeah. And has constantly been gentle up until that point, really. I guess it's got some stuff with the dragon and eating sheep, but...
Well, I think you can make the dragon a bit darker, so I was looking to see if there was other endings.
Oh, right.
Which there aren't.
You just had a look now?
Yeah, I was just having a look now. And apparently, when you do the fire with the dragon on it, you can actually send her to sleep first.
What?
And then set fire to it, and then the dragon doesn't bother you again.
So what happens?
I don't know. We've not seen... I don't know. It doesn't describe the... event. It just kind of loosely goes, this is what you should do.
I guess you don't really need that boy to be dead to steal his image. And
well, no, I mean, he wasn't dead when we stole the image.
No, but also the only thing we did afterwards with him is just bring him back to life,
which I guess likely, he could have just been dead anyway, because of the chaos. So you would have maybe had to bring him back.
Yeah, potentially. But he wouldn't have been angry with you, and he stops you from going through the...
So if anything, I prefer it this way. There's a little bit more character to it.
Brutal as well, though.
That was brutal,
the idea that you switch images with someone, and then that person gets, eaten to death in their sleep.
They took that off screen as well, though.
They did.
They didn't show the animation of him getting eaten.
But again, that was quite gory. The graphic was quite gory.
Yeah, the post-Eaton graphic was pretty nasty.
I would imagine they took it away because the animation was probably going to look a bit silly.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been a lot of work, I think.
Yeah.
To get that animation going.
Though the animation for him, that mandible being torn to shreds, was pretty good.
Yeah.
Again,
it was.
They must have spent a lot of time on that. Imagine having to painstakingly animate the position of that man's decapitated head.
It's just really weird considering, we open that what caused the Fabric of Reality to open was opening a graveyard when we previously opened the sky. Which I think...
Yeah, I mean, our opening of the sky was, to cause...
a weather thing
rain.
In the end.
Yeah.
But that was confusing. I thought opening the sky would have been a bit more of a dramatic move than opening the graveyard. But then I guess it suddenly became a bit more... Well, it was more figurative at that point, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think the idea is that he's trying to bring back a bunch of people who are no longer alive, and that is such a big deal that it that you have to maybe be delicate with what you change, even though it doesn't necessarily feel like we were that delicate.
I quite liked the sort of full circle situation though of the first spell you learn open is also ends up being one of those powerful spells. Just because it gets used for the worst thing when the first thing you do is just open an egg. And I like that you get that spell so early, the big C one, and you kind of you're going to have to get round to getting all the things, and that's going to be one of the last things, so you're coming back.
Yeah, it didn't tell... I mean, we had it written down so we could cast it, but did it actually tell you what that spell was at the end, if you hadn't remembered? I wonder if you click on the
I think if
swans.
you clicked on yourself, it would have probably just played it again.
You were the only person that could be selected. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think so. So I think it would have just played it again. At the same time, maybe they just hoped that it would have been cemented in your memory by that point, since you'd heard it 400 times.
Can you imagine playing that with just the without the cues?
Oh man, you'd be stuck on screens for so long at points. It'd be a bit rough.
I mean, I assume it gives you the colours at least, because I was thinking at one point maybe we could note down what the colours of the staff glow and then compare them to the colours that we need for notes. But it happens quite quick, so I wasn't able to note them down fast enough. But, and in the end, the Loom played it back anyway, so it didn't really matter. Anyway, Loom then done.
Loom done.
Yeah, I'm glad we. I was looking forward to this one. I'm glad we played it. And I think it was already quite high on the top of the list of games that I really like, so it's up there now. List as well.
I think it's top on the list of our current games.
Yeah. I mean, it is let down a little bit by a weirdly frantic end and some things that feel a story that's or a world that feels bigger than the story that it is able to tell in the space that it had to tell it. But
I mean, I don't know if that lets it down as such. I like the fact that they managed to make the world feel bigger than just the story that they managed to tell. It's more. I think the story is. It's unfortunate that it gets let down by that sort of rush.
Yeah, because I think you are left thinking, "Oh, okay, we're done, are we?" And you probably left wanting a bit more, really. Which is no bad thing necessarily to say, or
it's definitely better than it going on too long.
Yeah, as criticisms go, wanting more is probably the best you can get. But I think most of that is just down to how that sort of was put together. It probably could have been better or more satisfying at the end. It was fun to play through. And a really cool world, like a really creative world with lots of different things that I don't think you see that much. This can maybe take a little bit of the Emerald City from Wizard of Oz. Obviously there's little notes towards like the concept of Swan Lake, but like the anvil thing was cool and the weavers are cool, and looking into that was dark as well. Another bit looking into your hood,
yeah, that was dark. That was an unexpected kill.
Yeah, and I think that might speak to again what I mean about sort of the speed sometimes outweighing or counteracting or undermining itself. Like in a game, normally you'd be put in that situation. There'd be a puzzle to solve, right, or some sort of thing. You would feel some engagement or some empowerment to do something about it. We just looked in the scrying glass, had a little chat. He said, "Don't do that." Then he was like, "I want to look in your hood because I hear that might kill people," which is bold. And it does, and that's it. He's done. There's no agency there. Like for us. It's fun. It's fine to watch, and it's a cool idea. But if you could maybe have convinced him to look in your hood, or just brought up the conversation about it and steered it in some way. I guess there's no dialogue trees in this game, so it's hard to know. Maybe it wasn't a possibility, but there were quite a few bits like that where probably you could have had more of a game in those spaces. And then it would have been more satisfying to overcome that guy who was he was being sort of portrayed as like a rough antagonist.
He's in Monkey Island, right?
Is he?
Cobb.
Yes, he is. That's right. He's the Loom guy. Doesn't look like that though, really.
I don't think he would.
He's the guy that advertises Loom and doesn't say anything else. So maybe what happens is he goes into that hood and he's not killed, he's teleported into Monkey Island.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just going to be like a cameo, though, right?
Well, I think, yeah, it's a crossover to advertise the other game, but I mean,
I'm taking a look at like Easter eggs and stuff, and that sort of stuff is right at the bottom of this guide, just random like references.
Oh, okay.
Cameos. There's lots in Monkey Island, apparently.
Well, there's lots of references to other things, but other games, like I would expect there's stuff to be like Indiana Jones. I think Sam and Max crops up.
It's interesting. Yeah. So it's like Cobb is in it with his "Ask Me About Loom" thing. Guybrush often has the option to introduce himself as Bobbin Threadbare.
Yeah,
which is typically.
And when he falls, in the circus, when he bangs his head, one of the choices is "I'm Bobbin Threadbare, are you my mother?"
Yeah, you my mother.
Upside down.
Apparently, one character responds with "Your mother was a duck."
Oh, cool! I didn't. Yeah, well, it'd be interesting to see
stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's a few things in Curse of Monkey Island.
What, for Loom?
Yeah, for Loom, 2 things in Curse. There's one in Indiana Jones.
Okay.
Apparently the seagull and the clam can be found in several games.
Right. That's pretty cool. We have to keep an eye out for that interconnectivity. But I think that character, Cobb, in this game, like, was kind of a missed opportunity, really. Like, it's just...
Yes, agreed. Yeah. He could have been a bit more of an antagonist.
Yeah, and that would have maybe helped with the pace a little bit, because that was just like bang, 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 bang. Basically moving.
His castle, which looked really good as a set piece, ended up being 2 rooms, and that was a bit lame.
Yeah.
Like, the prison and just his balcony, and that was it.
Right.
Apparently he didn't have any other staff.
Yeah.
After we killed that one dude.
You had to... The size and scale of all that stuff was left to your imagination, really.
Which is a real shame, because like you said, upon entering, that castle looked like the epitome of evil.
It did. It looked really dramatic.
It was so menacing.
The artwork in general was very good. It was,
yes, I liked the artwork. I liked the music a lot. I mean, it was Swan Lake stuff, wasn't it? Mm. But it was nice to listen to. It was. There's only one bit where like it kind of got a bit obnoxious, which was the leaving of the island 3 times. In
fairness, so far, all the other games, music has been near atrocious. Right, we're all much older and all like
atrocious
PC speaker chiptune things.
They haven't been pleasant.
So this was a nice change to something a bit more cinematic.
I know this is a different version to the one you would have played when you were younger.
Yeah.
You said it didn't have music or sound?
I don't really remember enough about how much music was there.
I would say I think this one has been, while it's at the top of the list at the moment, I think it has been the most fun out of the games.
Yeah, and like an enjoyable game to play.
Yeah, like quite engaging, quite fun to play. And we didn't really get stuck anywhere properly, like except for missing that one spell. But compared to like the other one that would have been like the top runner, which is Maniac Mansion, I guess.
Yeah, I mean this is a progressive step for that LucasFilm Games at that point for like what their model was going to be really in terms of solvability and not letting you get stuck, or like Maniac Mansion was a step towards that, but it we obviously had some issues, and you could see where there were going to be some issues where the items could be consumed. So I think this is kind of the turning point where those games become a lot more accessible, and therefore you start seeing things completed and seeing stories manifest. And it's not just about punishing the player and laughing at how they died. Or putting them in an awful situation. I mean, the deaths are one thing, but at least sometimes you can say that the deaths are funny, or you can reload or whatever. But the bigger problem with those games are the sort of unfinishable states. Yeah.
Yeah, you find yourself soft-locked in the game and can't do anything.
Yeah.
And you're wondering why.
Yeah, and you can't imagine that could be really part of any kind of design.
Yeah, it's an oversight. It's something got missed.
Like, if you're doing a choose-your-own-adventure game book, it wouldn't just leave you on a page with no choices and no death. just keep going back and forth between these two sections or something forever until you starve.